So section 1.2 part 2. So in this video we're just going to be looking at equating coefficients. So we're just going to have a look at one example of equating coefficients. So an example of equation will be express 2x squared minus 12x plus 3 in the form p times x minus q all squared plus r, where p, q, and r are constants to be found. So you'll notice in this case they're not telling us to complete the square, but they're giving us some form that they want this quadratic expression to be in specifically. So the form they tell you to express your quadratic expression as might change. So this is where we use equating coefficients. So what we want to do is say 2x squared minus 12x plus 3 must be written in the form, so we make it equal to p times x minus q all squared plus r. So what we're going to do is just expand what we have on the right hand side, and what you're trying to do is find out by comparing both sides of the equation what the value of p could be, q could be, and r could be. So if we multiply out this right hand side, you should get p times x squared minus 2pqx plus pq squared plus r. And now we're going to be comparing both sides of the equation. So in order for these two expressions to be equal, you should see that all of the x squared terms on the left hand side must be equal to all the x squared terms on the right hand side. So you can probably already see what p could be, or has to be, in this case. In the same way, all of the x terms on the left hand side must equal all of the x terms on the right hand side. And lastly, all the constants on the left hand side have to be equal to the sum of all the constants on the right hand side. So on the right hand side, our constant will be p q squared plus r. So when you add these two terms together here, we know we have to get 3. So this is what equating is. You're looking at the two expressions and seeing what the possible values of p, q, and r could be. So here we can see that 2x squared must be equal to px squared. So all the x squared terms must be equal to each other on both sides. And therefore we can see that p has to be 2. Also, then we move to the next term. So we're going to do in the x terms. Negative 12x on the left hand side has to be equal to negative 2 pqx on the right hand side. And in this case we know what p is, so we can sub in p on the right hand side. So negative 2 times p will be negative 2 times 2 times qx, which is this negative 12x is equal to negative 4qx. And now if we divide both sides by x and make q the subject, you'll see that q is equal to 3. So far we have our p and we have q. So we just need r. So now we just look at the constant terms. So lastly we solve for r. Setting the constant terms on both sides equal, we get 3 must be equal to pq squared plus r. And we know p is 2 and q is 3. So p is 2, q is 3. So it's 2 times 3 squared plus r, which will be 18. And we just make r the subject. So r is equal to negative 15. So now we can write our expression in the form of p times x minus q all squared plus r, because we now know what p, q, and r are. So p is 2, q is 3, and r is negative 15. So our final form is 2 times x minus 3 all squared minus 15. So we've put our expression in the form that they've asked us to. So that is the end of this video. So that is how you equate coefficients. Feel free to ask any questions if you might have.